Yep, sorry about that. Got cut off again. But like I was saying, so why are there extremes in staying with your partner or divorcing your partner? Well, it depends on how they treat you too, right? The Bible don't mean if your husband does you wrong, you have to stay with him, nor does it mean if your wife does you wrong, you have to stay with her, right? That's covered in what passage of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, right? It talks about the believing departing or not departing, right? Right. And your children are made holy now through Christ's sacrifice, but at the same time, they can sin too, right? Satan didn't take a hiatus after Jesus died on the cross, right? You forget that too. You act like, well, now that he's died for our sins, we gotta do this, this, and this, and this, and still we're saved or not saved, and right. Mm-hmm. Well, you're stuck in the past too, right? With the old law came a punishment up to death, right? And that's Satan's law, not Jesus' law, right? The law of love, there is no punishment for a mistake, right? You just admit the mistake and move on, right? You're not doing that anymore. You're getting worse, right? You're shooting up great clubs, right? Going nutball, and winding up in jail because you're misguided Christians, right? It's not the Bible that's wrong. You're not reading the whole thing. That's what's wrong, right? Like I told you before, right? If your pastors only show you certain scriptures, right, that support his belief, right? He's brainwashing you into the wrong belief, right? Even Satan can do that, right? And why is the synagogue called the synagogue of Satan? It's not just the Jews who are wrong now. It's now the church of Satan, right? The Christian church of Satan has taken over from the truth of Jesus within 300 years later, and you're still teaching Emperor Constantine's doctrine, not Jesus' doctrine of the whole old and new, right? Why do you think up until the King James Version of the Bible wasn't even printed normally, right? Until they invented another printing press, and even then the church is fighting them, right? About trying to publish the Bible, right? Where's the sense in that? They're not teaching the whole thing, and they knew it the whole time, right? And once you learn the truth, you realize they're the liars, they're the false prophets, they're the ones John and Jesus are warning you about, right? The very people who took over Christianity from the real Christians, which was the Gnostic Christians, right, didn't like what the Gnostics were saying, right? Simple as that, right? And that's why you're confused about it today, right? But Satan don't come in when you're strongest, he comes in when you're weakest, right? No one had heard of anybody but the disciples faithfully telling you the truth, right? Now, Paul gets involved and he goes into it, right? He reveals the mystery of Christ in the flesh, right? But the part you can't handle is the male and female are one in Christ. He's just like Emperor Constantine, right? He was a pagan, male-dominated, male-controlling emperor. And even over a hermaphrodite, the male is still the stronger of the two, besides the female. Mm-hmm. And then the hermaphrodite, that's three, right? He's leading a third astray with the messengers of God and the angels of God, right? That includes us as human beings, right? If you lead men astray, and we're half the population and the rest is females are hermaphrodites, and the hermaphrodites aren't even 1% of the population, what does that mean, right? One, they're introduced sexually to the dreamful, like the Bible said up to Genesis chapter 6, right? They were also got rid of by the flood. Even Hindu scriptures talk of a flood, right? So you got a problem there. There is a worldwide flood. Even the freaking Aztecs and the Incas and all that talk of a flood. Even the Native Americans talk of a flood, right? So you've been deceived by Satan for so long, you don't even know the truth anymore, right? The devil don't come in when you're strongest again. He comes in when you're weakest, right? Not right when Jesus died, when there's still disciples going around preaching, right? But 300 years later, where they at? Martyred, right? And if you're martyred for Jesus, you also, whether you're resurrected or not, are afraid to show your face. Someone went to India, as far as Japan, and they think he's saying he's Jesus or something, right? That he rose from the dead when he died of natural causes. So either they're confusing what he said because of the language barrier there. One went to India and one went to Japan even, right? Right. Within at least the first few hundred years of Jesus, right? But you can go that far, right? In the, being that you're from the Middle East, right? Right. If you go west or east, right, of the Middle East, right? Right. And, or you go west of the Middle East, right? It's still considered the central point of the planet, right? But no one's seen Jesus at any time either, right? When John is describing him, it goes back to Daniel again, right? It's the same description, except one slight difference. He has boobs, right? Or paps, right? Okay. Now, if you have a girdle on to cover them, right? How would John know that? Leaning on his bosom and the Last Supper and chest, right? Though he said Stethos, why, right? He didn't know that had to do with him having both male and female attributions, right? What do you want to call it, right? If you're both, you're dying for both sins too, the females and the males, right? Not just the males. See, that's where Satan confused you. Oh, he's time for only the men, right? No, it's time for the women too, right? To do that, you gotta be both. A mediator is not a mediator of one, but God is one, right? And then Job's time, there was no mediator between God and men yet, right? Until Christ came into flesh to do so, right? There was no daysman, which is another way of saying mediator, right? In ancient Israel, right? No. And some of their phraseology you don't even understand anymore. Fruit can refer to the penis. Because it plants the seed into the woman. The seed comes out of it. Just like with a fruit from a tree, right? You got to eat to the fruit to get to the seeds and plant them in the earth to make it into the tree, right? Well, that's the same thing, right? The female is the earth. You're the... Even David said, I was formed in the lowest parts of the earth. What do you think he means? The womb of his mother, right? But stubbornness, right? Seeing only half the picture is what Constantine wanted you to do, right? He didn't understand Christianity any more than he understood his own paganism, but in that he was the image of God, right? In the true Christianity, he's not. He's just one of the two images in God, right? And from God, right? So he's lesser than Jesus. And you think a Roman emperor is going to agree to that? No. Especially if it's something that's both, right? That's the whole problem and the whole point. Even as I'm trying to understand it myself, I'm trying to explain it to you, which don't mean I can word it correctly. All the time either way, you'll understand it or not. That's up to you too. If you're resisting what God just showed me, and I know I'm preaching for 1,700 years, of course you're confused, right? But it happens slowly over time or quickly over time, depending on your perspective, right? 1,700 years old is a long time to believe the wrong thing. Even if you're only 30% right. So you got the female, the male, and then Jesus' image, which is both, right? And see, you have the problem with that, not Jesus, not Isaiah, not, right, the prophets of the Old Testament. You do, right? But if I'm not a man, I also can't be a woman either, right? I gotta be more than a woman, but not a man, right? Then I'm both. Do you understand what I mean, right? You're not quite a man, but you're more than a woman too, right? The male and female are one in you. So you're neither male nor female, Jew nor Gentile, bond nor free, right? The Gnostics said that too, right? So it's then the Orthodox trying to make him male only, right? Reducing him to half his form, and then trying to say, oh, well, he still died on the cross for our sins, right? Well, then you just changed the whole ministry and doctrine of Christ from him being both and dying for everybody's sin to he just died for the male sin specifically and not the females, and we're not one in Christ Jesus really, nor are we baptized into his body, right? Fully both of us. Jew and Gentile, bond and free, male and female. Bond rich or poor, right? Black or white, right? None of that matters anymore. Skin tone don't matter. We're one in Christ Jesus, right? Well, why do you think they can divide you and call Ham Canaan and Canaan Ham, and all the children of Ham are cursed? They told me growing up, right? No, only one of Noah's grandsons was cursed. His name was Canaan, right? You even mixed that up, crazy Christians in the South. You're not listening to the whole thing, right? You know Ham told the brothers, right? But Ham wasn't cursed for that. Canaan was cursed, right? Was Canaan in the tent naked with Noah, and that's why he was cursed to be a servant of servants, right? And then that only applies to one of the youngest grandsons, right? Not the older two, right? And then, again, Miriam got leprosy for withstanding her brother about the Ethiopian woman he had married, which is Jethro's daughter. Zipporah. Mm-hmm. Now, two people could have wrote the 5 books of Moses. Either Zipporah or who? Joshua, right? But it's an autobiography or a biography is a biography. Because Moses isn't spoken of or speaking of himself, someone else is speaking of him, right? Someone who knew him but wrote down the Torah for our convenience, right? Now, the Torah also seems to have the code of Hammurabi, whatever his name was. Hammurabi, right? He too said eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, and that predated Moses, right? So that means whoever wrote it knew both codes, right? Right? And Joshua too was raised in Egypt first, and then come on. And Zipporah was the daughter of the priest of Midian, right? A Midianite, right? as well as the Ethiopian woman, right? Just was married when he was in the wilderness after he was between 40 to 80, right? So he spent most of his adult life with her, right? I don't know if he married in Egypt, but right. He had to hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. What'd you say? I know, because he murdered a man that was Egyptian, and because they were fighting over the brothers, man. Mm-hmm. And then again, try to hide his body and thing, right? And then 2 other people of Israelite descent were fighting each other, and then they knew he did it, right? So he ran. Okay, or no. It's a little different also than the 10 Commandments as well, but which are also tells them, but again, right. But then you act like there's no Gentiles in, right, Hollywood either. Is Brad Pitt a Jew or a Gentile? You don't know, huh? Right. Well, Adam Sandler was naming a few. Right. David Lee Roth, the Medora. Right. And the late Dinah Shore. Right. Okay, I didn't know that, but that's cool. Roth sounds Hebrew, right? But that's why, like I told you, I'm still a circumcised male, but just not raised in the Jewish faith, right? Does that mean I have to let them prick my penis? No. Freak that. But anyway. Or would even worry about it? No, no. Not worry about it. I'm circumcised, okay, right. I didn't really do what it was. I don't go around checking out men's junk or masturbate with them like Davis did, but whatever. So I heard, the rumor was, not just with me, but little boys, that's where he got in trouble. It's okay if you are grown men and you can see it. Unless he's blackmailing you too, right? Oh, I touched your penis, I'm going to tell the Navy on you. You better stay in my church and give you money. I bet he did. You're a jackoffer. But see, that's the point. Right? Whoever's writing me seems up on this, don't they? Could it be a member of the church? Or Benny King or someone that I was around or associated with at the time? Trying to change it. Even with my own stepdaughter, right? Even make me wonder if the bio dad did something with her. I don't know. Right? I sure hell didn't. Right? That's all I can tell you, man. Right? Well, that, right? But it is. I know. And patience is a virtue, idiot. You gotta wait for the right woman because the wrong woman can come along too, right? But you have access to them first, right? See, you're using me to fuck them, probably. Excuse my French, but I mean, not because you love them, but because you want the pussy too, right? Or the sex too, right? That's what they call it, by the way. YouTube, excuse my French there. It's a term they refer to the woman's vagina as. But when I educate you, right? I'm not just educating you, but her too, right? She thinks she loves you and you love her equally, but you don't do, right? You just want that pussy, right? And she'll realize that when I come around, I'm not trying to fuck her. I'm just buying my stuff, right? Oh, I forgot my potatoes and bananas yesterday from, I think, food line. I was trying to get my money order and forgot the food. Whoops. And I was helped by a pretty young African girl, right? But I bet her boyfriend done had sex with her and scared her with me. I bet he did. But then she's an idiot because I don't even know her, right? I never met her unless she comes by my house and tries to seduce me, which is crazy too, right? You're not listening, are you? Mm-hmm. And I think you made the Asian girl flip out. Mm-hmm. But I think she knew the only way to get rid of me was to both have sex with me and blackmail him like you all. Because she didn't want me coming around there once a month to get my nails done or something, right? Mm-hmm. I know what that was about. I'm not dumb. She didn't like me at all, right? But she was trying to get rid of me too, almost to the point of murder me, right? I don't think she wanted me. I think she was afraid of me, but didn't know who to be with, but right, felt pressured either way. But then when I showed up, well, I gotta do something about this motherfucker. Well, it's obvious by the third time I went out there. Something weird's going on. The man tries to do my nails the next time, and then I just go in there to use the bathroom, and I leave my key in the soup in there, gotta go back for it, then suddenly the girl's there again, and then I go back to the movie theater that I haven't bought my ticket, right? And I said, "Officer, I'm just buying a ticket, right? And then I just stopped in there coming from Walmart, right? And see, that's why, and it backfired on you, didn't it, honey? And you're mad about it now, right? You still couldn't get rid of me, could you, honey? Right? Still didn't work for you, did it, right? And now you're stuck seeing me come out there every month. Anyway, everything you did was in vain, and you probably had a baby too. That really pissed you off, didn't it? You didn't even believe I could get you pregnant, did you? That's why you did it too, right? I know girls like you, right? It's being a bitch, by the way, right? You did it for the wrong reasons, right? And got caught up in it, right? But see, you knew you had to actually, like I told you, get me in trouble for it somehow. And yet, if you went into the bathroom with me and then you pulled out the gun and shot me, of course, right? And we argued about it a little bit, right? During the hour, which is more than enough for 2, 2, and 1. 2, 2, and 1. For me, I know. With you who look like my ex-girlfriend Mary Bell, but different too, right? And I told you that too, and you're tempting me on what I want, right? It's not my fault. You look like the girl of my dreams, but that don't mean I'm targeting you by going out to the damn store. Any one of these women could technically work, but again, I don't know them yet either, right? But I have had women do this to me, right? Because they're having men trouble themselves, right? But I haven't been with a virgin until you kind of, right? And even then, you don't want me to know, right? But that's the problem, too. You're trying to take matters into your own hands, you little vigilante wannabe, right? You're not kick-ass. You're not these girls on TV, right? Not everybody's after your pussy, right? That's what I mean, too, right? Some of us were taught to respect women because they have a brain, not just a piece of anatomy, right? Call it the vagina, call it puss in boots, whatever, right? Pussycat. Well, pussycats like to lick themselves, I guess, right? And women play with themselves too, right? But if you're paranoid about me, I don't contact people that way. Never have. Ever since I knew Playboy was a fantasy, right? And I couldn't even get near the girls, right? Never tried. You can't even Whitney Houston be on that crap, right? I never even wrote the fan clubs because that has nothing to do with the star. That's just a bunch of people who like the star, right? I know. And even the crazy woman around Selena Gomez, not Selena Gomez, Selena, what's her name, right? Again, right? Murders her own, prodigy, right? I know. Because she knew her, right? That's sad. But I can't do nothing about it, nor can God. Once you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you die. But it don't mean it's the end, but it means temporarily you're Satan's prisoner, right? And you go to either paradise or torment, right? And that is by your works, though, Christians, right? You go there or not, right? Even you know that, but good is good. And Paul covered this too. If a man by nature, right, does what the law says, right, even without the law, he can be saved too by grace, right, through faith. So what you're doing is you're totally messing up the idea of good and evil with Satan's help, right? If you do people right, you're doing them right. If you're doing them wrong, you're doing them wrong. And that's clear cut. No matter who you are, even if you're a Christian doing somebody wrong, you're doing somebody wrong, right? Or a non-Christian. Yeah, it's supposed to be worse with you, right? You've heard the good news, right? They ain't heard it yet, or they don't understand it properly, right? And that's because you're misinterpreting it, not them, not them. That's part of grace too, right? So we're all saved by grace through faith on the first. Right. Now, what do you do? Try to do the right things for yourself, not others, right? Try to get over whatever crap you're dealing with, right? And treat people the way you want to be treated. Simple as that, right? Bible don't tell you any other way. I know. All right, have a good day.